we should get started now. Well, just welcome everyone. Today, we're going to get an overview of all the different ways that you can get your data onto the Now platform for use in workflows. There's different methods depending on the data source, but today's webinar will mostly focus on API-enabled integrations through our Integration Hub solution, which is a component of Automation Engine, like the other capabilities that will also be discussed. And I'm joined by two other speakers, and we'll save introductions for our respective sections. Okay, so before we dive into today's presentation, I'd just like to take a moment to address our safe harbor statement. You'll see it on the screen now. If you'd like more details on potential forward-looking statements, you can review them in the risk factors in our financial reports. So a little about myself. I joined ServiceNow as a product marketing manager a little over a year ago, and I'm really focused on our automation and integration strategy here at ServiceNow. I'm currently located in the nation's capital, where it is way too hot and humid for someone who's originally from Northern California. Everyone would always say it's the winter on the East Coast, but I actually think it's the summer that's the tougher part. So just a little overview of what we're going to talk about today. Today's focused on a few different sections. So we'll just start with why integration is essential to workflows and how ServiceNow has you covered. Then we'll get more into functionality, so how to approach integrations with modern ServiceNow capabilities. And we'll finish by talking about how you can achieve value quickly with expert services when you implement. So we've all been there, right? Where we can't get the data we need to complete a task. So for example, your company, an agent might need to see data in Oracle or Workday or HubSpot to resolve concern. And when they can't access that data easily, or they operate with all the data needed, it takes a long time for them to find the data. They have to copy paste. This just wastes time. It's not the best way to work. So let's just establish a fact. Integration is fundamental to workflows, right? 100% of workflows need integration to work. Today, we're talking about the integration components of Automation Engine, but first I'll just give a brief overview of what Automation Engine is. In a nutshell, it's a complete set of integration and automation capabilities on the Now platform. So there's 6 different components to Automation Engine. Integration Hub, so to integrate data from modern API-enabled systems. RPA Hub to integrate data and automate actions in legacy systems where APIs aren't available, or to automate mundane tasks like copy and pasting. Process mining to mine external process and task data so you can see all your processes together regardless of where the data lives. Stream Connect for Apache Kafka to ingest Apache Kafka data to and from the Now platform. AI-powered document intelligence to extract data from documents and integrate them into ServiceNow workflows. And then lastly, Automation Center to manage it all. Right? Automation Center has complete end-to-end visibility over all your automations. It's vendor agnostic and it allows you to look at automation, operational health, but then also just the business value you're getting, right? The ROI on all these automations. So talking about these different integration capabilities of Automation Engine, I think the way I just frame it is you have data that comes from different sources, but we've got you covered, right? Regardless of where that data is coming from. For the majority of use cases, Integration Hub is the way to go. A lot of different software has API-enabled integration, so that's what Integration Hub is for. For legacy systems where APIs aren't available, so think old or custom-built software, you can use robotic process automation through RPA Hub to get your data on the platform. For Apache Kafka data, which is used by 70% of the Fortune 500, you can use Stream Connect to ingest data to and from the Now platform. And then lastly, for data that lives in documents, so think like amount owed in an invoice, you can extract it into your workflows using AI-powered document intelligence. So just to sum up this slide, there's different sources of data, right? And you need them in different ways in your workflows, and we have different solutions for all those different data types. So let's just look at a simple use case of integration with IT to illustrate why integration is important. In many use cases, catalog requests require integration with other applications. So for example, Windows or Mac desktop software requires integration with Microsoft Endpoint Manage or Jamf. System access requires integration with modern systems like Active Directory, Workday, Okta, and so on, and so on. Without automation, IT support staff must handle just a flood of incoming tickets and perform manual actions like copying and pasting data across those different applications. So that sort of work is just, it's time consuming, it's boring, it's prone to errors, and it just takes longer and it's higher cost. So the goal is to automate as many of those requests as possible. So let's just show how we fix it with Integration Hub. In the workflow, the IT staff is just no longer burdened by a backlog of tickets due to integrated systems. A workflow is triggered automatically and the data is called via APIs to exactly where it needs to go in the workflow. So all those systems that were in that jumbled ball on the previous slide are now orderly and connected to the workflow so they can all talk to one another. But most importantly, what this does is it resolves the process faster and at lower cost for you. So I'm going to let Robert get into the functionality of Integration Hub on subsequent slides, but I think this is an important visual to show. Up top, you have those out-of-the-box workflows in ServiceNow that are technical, they're structured, but they need the data in those systems below to actually work. And Integration Hub is native in the Now platform and connects those systems below seamlessly to your ServiceNow workflows. There's no need for any third-party integration solution or to write long lines of code for just one connection. We have over 200 plus connections out of the box, and we have Spoke Generator, which allows you to create custom connections in a low-code environment. So this just is a visualization of how Integration Hub fits into the workflows and the different systems that it connects to. So let's get back to that poll question. If you answered 1.35 billion transactions, you were correct. Integration Hub has over 1.35 billion transactions a month, which is over 14 billion a year. So it's a proven solution, and it has over 4,000 paying customers. So to sum up this first section, discussing just what we had in mind, right, towards our approach towards automation and integration solutions, it's native and embedded in the Now platform, giving your ServiceNow teams the ability to leverage existing skills and resources they have. They're already familiar in this environment. We have a strong focus on fast time to value. We want you to get started quickly. So we have solutions and templates that are ready out of the box. And then compared to alternative ways of integrating to ServiceNow, we have the lowest total cost of ownership. And that's really because ServiceNow handles maintenance, support, and upgrades. So single platform, fast time to value, and lower total cost of ownership is really our integration strategy here. And now I'm going to pass it on to Robert to talk more about these capabilities.
Hey, Will, thank you. My name is Robert Barclay. I'm a solution consultant focusing here on automation engine at ServiceNow. I've been here for over a year. I'm located out of Maryland, and I'm really honored to speak with you all today. Next slide, please. All right, so let's talk low-code integration for ServiceNow through Integration Hub. So as Will has stated, Integration Hub delivers that fastest time to value. We have over 180 spokes, which are growing, and they allow our customers to rapidly start automating on their ServiceNow instances, both internally and externally. You're able to integrate like an expert because we have training on the platform, and that includes over 4,000 pre-built actions to begin integrating right out of the box for your ServiceNow use cases. And our low-code, no-code platform through Flow Designer, which Integration Hub extends, along with pre-built templates and complete solutions for common use cases out of the box, makes it very simple so you don't have to be a rockstar JavaScript developer to begin automating and iterating on ServiceNow. With Integration Hub, you can connect to any system rapidly. And I mentioned this term spokes. And a spoke is just a way for you to connect to any sort of application or third-party API. And it's a scoped application that lives on your ServiceNow instance. And then you're able to connect to very popular products such as Okta, Salesforce, Microsoft Azure, SAP, and many, many more. Like I said, we have over 180 plus, and we are adding more with new releases. And spokes allow you to quickly address your key use cases. We have pre-built flow actions for multiple workflows. For example, if you install the Microsoft Azure Spoke, you have like password management and user management. Many of the common use cases come out of the box. And then if they don't meet your needs, you can extend and design and build custom spokes. If there's an API that we don't have a spoke for, you can build that custom spoke. And we've even added a spoke generator, which uses the Open API specification to rapidly build and develop spokes on ServiceNow. And I want to bring your attention to the bottom of the slide here, components of a spoke. So we take some action inputs, we connect to that REST API, and then we get some action outputs. Um, and so that just basically is the broad overview of how you would connect to these third-party APIs and systems. So I do want to outline some expectations when it comes to Integration Hub and Flow Designer. And so what you can expect is these quick start out of the box recipes for addressing some core API functionality for your external systems and some common use cases that we've pre-built for our ServiceNow customers. And you can reference those spoke actions and subflows to build on custom spokes and develop new spoke actions within the scope of that spokes. So think of a modular system where if you develop maybe a series of steps and logical actions to connect to an API and then automate on your ServiceNow instance, you can then use it in other flows and other automations. So kind of a plug and play approach. What not to expect is a turnkey plug and play integration system that addresses every single customer integration need right out of the box. We like to say that we get customers 80% of the way there, but obviously no system is perfect for every single customer and every single vertical. So while we have those out of the box actions, those out of the box spokes, you will have to do some development and customization, but using Flow Designer, it makes it very simple and easy to do relative to doing it as a software effort with a software team to develop your own scripts and automations through ServiceNow. Um, and yeah, and this is how we approach our integration philosophy with Integration Hub. You have a ServiceNow developer. He might go to the ServiceNow store. He would maybe install Microsoft Azure, Salesforce, or Okta. And then they can also use that spoke generator to create custom spokes. A lot of our customers are connecting to APIs that we don't have spokes for, but it's very simple and easy to create that custom spoke to connect to that API. And then they're going to want to configure that spoke. So although they have those out of the box actions, they can add new actions, custom actions. And although we say the Flow Designer is a low code, no code tool, and it is, we like to also say it's pro code. So many of our customers have very sophisticated development needs, and then they can go ahead and develop those sophisticated custom spokes for their ServiceNow instance. So I want to talk a little bit about the spoke generator. It speeds up your development and shortens that time to value for our customers. It allows you to build spokes fast with no code required. So you can access a guided experience through Flow Designer for building a brand new spoke. You're going to leverage the open API specifications to automatically create and generate new actions. And that open API specification is going to be some YAML or JSON code, which is human readable format for data delivery. And this is going to reduce the risk and manual steps that are required from doing a scripted approach. And it's going to rapidly enable your developers of all skill levels to build better integrations for the ServiceNow platform and your organization overall. So let's talk a little bit more about Open API. The Open API specification is a specification language for HTTP APIs. And like I mentioned, it's typically written in YAML or JSON, and that defines the structure and syntax in a way that it's not dependent on any of the programming languages that the API is created in. It's programming language agnostic. And today, most API providers support this specification, and they will have that YAML or JSON code available, or you will be able to request it and then easily integrate it into your Flow Designer to develop your custom spoke. So I'm just going to play a short video and let you view.
Integrations to external systems are a critical part of every ServiceNow workflow. Many customers are still scripting integrations because it's always been a core capability of the platform, or they have a partner that does it for them. So they've always done it this way. And because of a perceived high cost of an Integration Hub subscription and transactions, scripting is seen as a way to avoid these costs. However, times have changed with the rise of low code, which has simplified and democratized not only app development, but also integration development. Integration Hub is the modern low-code way to integrate ServiceNow workflows with anything. It's how ServiceNow integrates our own packaged workflows like ITSM and CSM. Let's look at 7 ways that Integration Hub outperforms legacy scripted integrations. Modern versus legacy. Integration Hub comes with over 200 out-of-the-box spokes. For everything else, there's Action Designer and the new spoke generator for rapidly creating custom spokes with no code. With Vancouver, Integration Hub is on its 11th ServiceNow family release and has been ready for prime time for quite some time. So while it's new relative to scripted integrations, it's a proven solution that now processes over 1 billion transactions a month for ServiceNow customers. Total cost of ownership. Integration total cost of ownership is much more than just shipping the initial release. There is also significant maintenance, enhancement, upgrade, and support costs, technical debt that adds up over time. For example, with integrations to 5 core systems of records such as CRM or ERP, total cost of ownership of an Integration Hub subscription is at least 80% less than scripting, even with out-of-the-box spoke customization and high transaction usage. Centralized governance, administration, and security. These are critical issues for every enterprise architecture and integration team. With Integration Hub, these teams can centrally administer and govern all aspects of ServiceNow integrations. In one place, in one standard framework, Flow Designer. The Integration Hub Connections Dashboard enables admins to manage all connections through a single interface. Action Designer has nearly 12 types of integration action steps that provide a structured framework with templates for creating and testing reusable integration actions. Flow Reporting provides detailed execution stacks with all data elements for easy troubleshooting. Related flows show all flows that an action is used in, so you can easily track down everywhere an integration action is used. Integration Hub inherits Flow Designer security capabilities, such as role-based access, content filtering rules, and restricted caller access to prevent unauthorized usage. Integration Hub Usage Dashboard provides centralized monitoring and analytics for a complete view of your integration landscape in one place. Scripted integrations can result in cost overruns and project delays. Integration Hub's standardized framework minimizes these risks by making development costs and implementation time more predictable. Scripted integrations can also introduce support issues when integration developers move on to other roles or leave an organization. Because they're all built differently with no standard way to troubleshoot. Integration Hub provides complete transparency into all integrations for all developers, which means no gaps in support. Integration Platform. Integration Hub provides integration services that accelerate delivery of robust integrations that solve for a broad range of use cases. Here are a few examples. No need for scripted REST APIs with low and no-code event-driven integrations. Dynamic input simplifies integration with systems with customized or changing schemas. Retrieve and manipulate data from external systems on demand without having to import or store. Configure granular retry conditions and strategies with no code. Data stream actions enable users to process large numbers of records and payloads. Today's enterprise has a broad range of system and data integration requirements beyond web services. Integration Hub delivers low and no-code integration with numerous APIs, protocols, and data formats. Integration speed. It can easily take 6 months to develop, test, and deploy to production a scripted integration for a core system of record like CRM or ERP. Integration Hub compresses this down to 1 to 2 months, even allowing for customization to out-of-the-box spokes. Developer productivity. Integration Hub actions and spokes are discoverable and reusable in ServiceNow low-code tools, which increases developer productivity. Developer accessibility. Integration Hub is accessible to ServiceNow developers of all skill levels. IT developers and low-code admins can build custom integrations and publish as no-code building blocks for reuse by business developers. And Spoke Generator enables any developer to rapidly create a custom spoke with no code. With Integration Hub, you can reduce integration total cost of ownership, centralize and strengthen integration governance, administration, and security, increase developer productivity, integrate faster, and make integrations accessible in a governed way to all ServiceNow developers. If you outsource integrations to a partner, ask them if they're using Integration Hub. To learn more, check out the blog series on the ServiceNow community.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Will. So just a few takeaways that I'd like everyone from this webinar to leave with is we can reduce that integration total cost of ownership by 80% or more by rapidly reducing your time to value to get up those integrations up and running, and bringing in that extra productivity from moving away from the legacy integration approaches. And we also centralize that integration administration and governance within Flow Designer to make it easy for people who may not be integration development experts to do it the right way when they start integrating on the ServiceNow platform, along with increased integration security, as our Flow Designer is not a bolt-on but a core feature of the platform. We also increase that developer productivity and accessibility, which comes back to that reduced time to value with a modern and fluid UI and lots of robust training for new developers on the platform to rapidly connect to those external APIs and begin automating internally and externally on ServiceNow. So now that we've talked about Integration Hub, let's talk about RPA, Robotic Process Automation, on ServiceNow using RPA Hub. So robotic process automation, it's a form of business process automation where we create a bot or maybe a digital worker that can be deployed as a substitute for humans in a routine, error-prone, and high-volume manual process. Think about maybe there's a legacy app or a spreadsheet or an old school interface that does not have an API for us to connect to, but we have some outlined steps of what needs to be done. For example, entering in some data, clicking through a user interface, or anything like that. Some other common use cases are accounts receivable, accounts payable, and on and offboarding. And we break that down into two categories: unattended robots and attended robots. So for an unattended robot, it would run on a virtual machine or a server. We give it a series of instructions. It's a set of steps that we have fully outlined ahead of time, and we can trigger it by an event or a schedule. It can be run 24/7, and we have some examples here, like I mentioned, accounts receivable, accounts payable, and on and offboarding. Attended robots are suitable for automations where we have to have a human involved in the process. This might be a call center environment. It would run on the client's machine, and it would use a series of instructions in a bot process, and we trigger it through a user action. It would run in real time and support the user in the execution of their work. So we remove some of that manual work from a user so that they could move on to higher value activities. And we have some examples here, like I mentioned, a CTI within a call center environment. Now, ideally, we want to use Integration Hub to connect through an API, but in the cases where that's not an option, this is when we would use robotic process automation. And just like Integration Hub, it delivers the fastest time to value. So you can rapidly automate your common bot patterns both for attended and unattended robots. We have over 3,500 out-of-the-box components from connectors, templates, and solutions. We have computer vision to help understand some of the UI features that we might have to interact with, and a rules engine. And we have our RPA design studio, which makes it very easy to drag and drop and create those RPA robots for your organization to handle those those legacy processes that lack API connection access. And so the key thing here is that we're reducing that manual and error-prone work. When humans are faced with boring, repetitive tasks, often that results in human error, and it's people just rather do more high value activities. And so let's take some of that work off their plate and automate that process. So we connect to any legacy system through ServiceNow. We can automate things like data entry or other UI actions with our robots. We'll centrally manage those digital workers within the ServiceNow instance and even call them from Flow Designer. So if you're automating internally or externally with APIs and processes on your ServiceNow instance, you can always involve the data that's coming from those robots, for example. And like I mentioned, uh, over thousands of out-of-the-box components from templates, connectors, OCR, and that rules engine. So key capabilities are that centralized orchestration. And what many organizations do that have tried to automate the RPA process, they might have a large series of scripts throughout the organization, causing duplicative work, no visibility into it. That's not the case. With RPA Hub, we have full visibility into all of our RPA efforts across the organization. Like I mentioned, over 1,300 plus ready-to-use components, that native computer vision, which may not be accessible for people who are building their own RPA scripts. And then we can get desktops through our virtual machines or our servers, or running it on a client desktop. And here at the bottom of the slide, I have a few of the out-of-the-box ways to connect and build out those RPAs for a robust automation approach to your legacy systems. So now that we've covered RPA, let's talk about Stream Connect for Apache Kafka. Stream Connect is a near real-time way to consume and send events using Apache Kafka on your ServiceNow platform. It has a very high adoption rate. 80% of Fortune 100 companies are using Apache Kafka, and our customers want to adopt it because of its scalability, its availability and durability, and that real-time processing of events on the Apache Kafka platform. And we can involve our automation from Flow Designer and Integration Hub through Stream Connect as well. So we get that full, unique, intelligent platform, and we get that high throughput for our data streams, which connects to our workflow automation and fits well within our framework of digitally connecting people, processes, and systems on ServiceNow. And at the end of the day, it's a seamless event-driven connectivity with Stream Connect, and it's a way for organizations to rapidly scale their real-time processing of events through Apache Kafka. So when we talk about that simplify and scale approach, we can develop our data ingestions with a native experience within Flow Designer. Like I mentioned, Flow Designer being that one-stop shop for all your automations, whether it's RPA or Stream Connect, you can then involve that data because you're going to need to do something with it. You're going to need to automate it. We can transform and insert events data into ServiceNow tables because we know that the data might not be in the format we wanted to when we put it into ServiceNow. We can easily do that with the Kafka message flow trigger. And we can produce data on Kafka topics using a flow action Kafka producer step that, again, we're accessing in Flow Designer, which is, like I mentioned, your one-start shop for that automation process on ServiceNow. So bottom line is that Stream Connect makes it faster and easier to maximize your streaming investments and insights. You get better value from your data with our on-platform analytics and full integration with all of your data sources. We improve cost effectiveness and scalability. We have a set rate and an out-of-the-box connector. Stream Connect is an efficient way for you to connect your Kafka data to workflows, so you don't need to build out robust IT infrastructure to get near real-time streaming using Apache Kafka. And we can act at the speed of digital business. We can trigger automated actions and workflows based on those incoming messages in your event architecture. Because at the end of the day, if we have that streaming, we need to do something with it, whether it's an insight or whether it's an action that might be an external system that's involved or internally on your ServiceNow instance. Both are options allowing your organization to scale rapidly and responsibly using ServiceNow. So here's a couple of the use cases that we've seen with Stream Connect, from manufacturing to finance to supply chain and logistics to telecom and government. There is a wide range of demand for our Stream Connect product because of its near real-time streaming and the Apache Kafka infrastructure that it's built on. And finally, I want to re-highlight this slide because automation engine can sometimes be confusing, but at the end of the day, it's just a full holistic suite of automation approaches on ServiceNow, from RPA Hub to those legacy systems where we can't connect to an API. We can centrally manage all of our bots and robotic processes, to Integration Hub, which is everything else, connecting and developing to APIs and external systems, to Document Intelligence, which is, you might say, how do we get that physical data into my system? We do that through Document Intelligence with OCR and inputting the documents, putting it on your ServiceNow system, and then you have access to it. Stream Connect, near real-time processing of events, and then process mining to identify inefficiencies in external systems, and then go ahead and implement changes, whatever you may need, so you can rapidly iterate and become more efficient. And then finally, in the top of the wheel, it says Automation Center. That is your single pane of glass for you to view all of your automation efforts, your demands, your requests, and automations in progress. And yes, please reach out to us if you have any further questions or would like to see a demo of anything you've seen today.
All right. I want to give a quick intro. Again, part of Expert Services, along with ServiceNow. Nishant Kella. I've been at ServiceNow for the last 3 years. I'm a senior manager and practice leader for the Automation Engine solution delivery team at ServiceNow. I've been in different roles within ServiceNow in my 3-year tenure, and more as a TC and now as a practice leader. My team of experts help deliver the implementations for Automation Engine solutions on the ServiceNow platform, utilizing all the robust capabilities that were discussed today by Robert. Prior to working at ServiceNow, I've been in the ecosystem for about 14 years, within various roles in delivery for many other customers implementing ServiceNow. So I'm here to primarily talk about Expert Services. So, slide. All right, so what do we do, and how do we drive successful implementations, especially focused on integrations? Next slide. All right, successful implementation is a key for digital transformation. This is what we hear from customers when we start our journey with them with successful implementations. One, how do we fast track digital transformation and innovation? How do we modernize and enhance the employee and customer experience? How do we increase the efficiency and lower operational costs? How can we boost organizational performance and productivity? And how can we scale to growth, especially growing the business with all the ServiceNow solutions? And when we work on these successful implementations, our ultimate goal is to achieve faster time to value and minimize any risk. Now, why Expert Services? So first, our focus is always on the right plan that is aligned to your vision and executed to take full advantage of Now Platform. The right design, fully leveraging leading practices and maximizing the use of out-of-the-box capabilities and reducing technical debt and setting a foundation for success. The right team, utilizing our best experts across all project phases and work streams to efficiently and effectively deliver on the vision and plan that you have established. Our expert team really comprises and has experience around thousands of customer engagements and deep insight into implementation, strategies, practices, and processes. On top of that, they have inside perspective on our technology, our roadmap, so you can get the most out of ServiceNow and future-proof your investment. Additionally, immediate reach back to product and business unit, meaning we have a direct relationship with our internal product leadership and organization to be able to triage issues and provide thought leadership for future capabilities. We have access to the largest library of ServiceNow leading practice resources, and also we're aligned practice-based expertise, meaning we truly are bringing the subject matter expert in each of the workflows that you can deliver on ServiceNow, like IT workflows, employee workflows, customer workflows. We adapt to your requirement by offering the kinds of engagement models that are either ServiceNow-led, co-delivered with partner, or even on an advisory basis. All right, with the ServiceNow implementation, our primary focus is to establish an engagement that aligns with your key business goals and objectives. Our experience across 8,500 customer engagements using Now Create methodology, which is primarily a prescribed playbook of activities that aligns with successful delivery of the engagement. We deploy various roles across the implementations where we have engagement managers, business process consultants, and technical consultants, solution architects, and additional program leadership roles that are highly seasoned with all the certifications that are needed for a successful implementation. An experienced team is driving best practices for your successful implementation. We emphasize on the need for having a healthy foundation and a platform which you can scale and extend effectively. All right, with respect to automation engine implementations very specifically, what we do is we analyze existing processes, review the need for quick automation opportunities with modern systems. We design solutions that take advantage of the 180 plus pre-configured integration hub spokes available and all the various ServiceNow store applications that are built by ServiceNow and other partners in the ecosystem. With this approach, customers benefit with future upgrade enhancements utilizing out-of-the-box platform features. This will allow for increased visibility into the integration patterns, security, and performance, enable you to be best positioned to achieve your potential business outcomes. Here are some of the things our customers are saying about our implementations and their experience with how we have ultimately engaged with them with our best team, driving through successful implementations and all the benefits I've discussed so far. All right, what's next? Access information we have available on various sites and portals. Reach out to your account team to have a conversation with our experts for customer outcomes. Take complete advantage of ServiceNow platform and the automation engine capabilities. All right, Will, we'll close it with you.
Well, thank you, everyone. I think now would be a good time for us to get into some of the Q&A.